Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Company Secretary News. So this is a new show where every week we give you updates about ICSI, about the Company Secretary course, and most importantly amendments to the law, and also some business news which is connected to your Company Secretary syllabus and course. The first segment in Company Secretary News is ICSI News. The first news there is about the CS Professional Program. If you are a student in CS Professional Program, you have an option of electives. In Module 1 and Module 2 of CS Professional New Syllabus, you are having electives. And if you are a student who chose some elective and you wanted to change the subject, now from November itself, ICSI has given the chance for students to change the elective. Here I have a simple suggestion for all the students in CS Professional Program. Don't choose the elective depending on, oh, this subject will help me in my future. Unfortunately, that is not the truth. You have to choose elective based on what is easy for you to pass the exam. And once you start working, you can specialize in whatever you want. The intention of ICSI is very good, but unfortunately, the exams are not like that. So there is a very huge difference. Some subjects in elective are very easy for exam and some subjects are very difficult for exam. So why do you want to choose which are difficult? So my suggestion for you is CSR, that is Corporate Social Responsibility, IPR, Intellectual Property Rights, and labor laws. These three are extremely easy for exam and I would highly recommend you to choose these electives and don't bother about other electives because you will have a tough time in your exam. The next news is Secretarial Standards. You know very well that we have Secretarial Standard 1 and Secretarial Standard 2. That is Secretarial Standard of General Meetings and Board Meetings, which we have in Section 118 subsection 10 of the Companies Act. So every company, if you remember that every company has to comply with Secretarial Standard. So please understand that now from 1st April 2024, the revised Secretarial Standard 1 and 2 is going to be released and it is going to be effective. So this way, all the companies have to follow the new Secretarial Standards. And just for you to understand, Company Secretary profession grew by leaps and bounds after the 2013 Act made it mandatory for every company to comply with Secretarial Standards. This is because all the companies realize that Secretarial Standards is no more optional, and second thing is that Company Secretary is the person who is expert at Secretarial Standards because ICSI issues this Secretarial Standards. So naturally, all companies wanted company secretaries and our role in the market has grown, and most importantly, I can tell you as a practicing company secretary, companies which were not taking compliance seriously started to take it seriously thanks to Section 118 subsection 10, that is SS1 and SS2, which is mandatory for every single company. Even for things like secretarial audit, every company need not do secretarial audit. You have a category of companies, so you have fewer companies compared to SS1, SS2, which is compulsory for every single company in India. Next news is something which you have to spread the word and also appreciate Institute of Company Secretaries of India, because this is relating to 100% waiver of fees for CS Executive Program for anybody who is into the Indian Army, Air Force or Navy, especially the children of widows. So suppose there was a army soldier and he died and his wife and him had a kid. So for that kid, when they want to take company secretary course, the fees is zero. So ICSI is giving zero fees for such students, and that is a very, very good step to encourage. One more thing, if a student who has taken the Agnipath scheme, that is Agniveer, you can go for 4 years training with the Indian Army, Air Force, Navy, and after that 4 years, if you want to take company secretary course, then it is 100% free. So you may ask me, sir, who's going to take this? In fact, where I did my CS training, there were two bosses, and one of the boss was actually in the Navy, and later he took company secretary course along with his time at the Navy and then become a company secretary. So there are many people who take it because usually in Army, Air Force, Navy, you may join at the age of 18 and after 10 years service you are still 28, you can't retire, so you have to do something else. So they study different things, and ICSI has encouraged them by taking company secretary course by giving them zero fees. And right now Agnipath scheme is just 4 years. So somebody who is 18 or 19, 4 years they go to Agnipath become Agniveer, and after that they are outside the army, what should they do? They can do many things. In that one of them is company secretary course, where the fees is zero. Please do spread this news amongst all your friends. And again, please look at ICSI as a whole. Please don't judge them by some small things here and there. For all the students there, it is important for us to respect ICSI, because end of the day, without them, we are not here. Don't forget that. The last news in ICSI news is that study circles. All over India, you have many ICSI chapters, and each of the chapters is restarting study circle. That is, the members and the students can come together and discuss different topics relating to the corporate law. And I myself remember attending study circles in Bangalore and Mysore, both these chapters, when I was a student. And it was one of the best time, because even a foundation student or CACET student can interact with a professional student, executive student, even some members used to be there. So this way all our knowledge used to really improve. Of course, after that it was not very active, but I'm so happy that ICSI has restarted this and encouraging all the chapters to do this. So if you are anyone who is doing company secretary course, please try to physically visit. I know online we have a lot of things, but try to visit your chapter in whichever state of India you are in and go participate in study circles. Even if you just go and listen and just talk to everybody, there is so much we can learn. At least I can remember that there was so much I learned when I went as a CS foundation student at the Bangalore chapter for study circles, and listening to the members, listening to professional students, listening to executive students made me get the confidence and also learn so many things. I wish you to go and attend. Now we will be moving into the amendment news. And this week's amendment is something which will give lot of motivation for every company secretary student, and anyone related to corporate law. And this is relating to SEBI Complaints Redressal System, or what we call as SCORS. You can also go to the SCORS website. In simple, SCORS is where any investor who has a complaint against a company or a listed mutual fund, they can file their complaint in this common platform which is called as SCORS. And SEBI will take the responsibility to forward it to the company, and company has to reply within 30 days, what we call as the action taken report. So if I have a problem, what was the solution given by company should be given by 30 days. However, now this has been amended, and this shows how strict SEBI is, and it is going to get stricter and stricter in the regulation as we go forward. So the amendment is very, very simple. So from now on, the action taken report should be given by the company within 21 calendar days, not 21 days, not 21 clear days, but 21 calendar days, that is continuous days. And also there is a concept of designated body. So if I am an investor, I have a complaint, I go to the SCORS website and I have a complaint against XYZ company. And then that company has to give the reply within 21 calendar days, and to ensure that that company is giving the reply within 21 calendar days, which we call as action taken report, there will be a designated body. So designated body will ensure that company will give the reply within 21 calendar days, and this is a very good amendment. And one small thing you should understand relating to this amendment, there was an interview which I was seeing of N. Chandrasekaran, who is the head of Tata Sons, and what he said was very interesting. The person asking the question told him, "Sir, the government is making more regulation, more rules, and as a big company like Tata Group, don't you think it is a burden? Don't you think it is a headache? Don't you think it is affecting your ease of doing business?" And the reply given by N. Chandrasekaran was simply fantastic. He said that please expect more regulation from government, please expect the government to be more strict, because the government is giving a good environment for everyone to do business. It is natural that government will ensure that there are proper checks and balances. And he said that we welcome more regulation, because only the serious companies, only the compliant companies will survive, and all the people doing scams or doing all kinds of other nonsense will not be able to survive in a very strict regulatory environment. And this is what he said. And this SCORS amendment is one small step. And like I always tell you, every single week, every single month, the more regulations are there, more amendments are there, new laws are there, which is going to directly benefit all of us in the profession. It could be company secretaries in practice, in employment, even our sister professions of chartered accountancy and lawyers. All three of us will have a great future because of these amendments. And I repeat in every episode and even in this episode, for all the students who are thinking that there is no scope or ICSI is horrible or the company secretary course is not up to the mark, this new show is a direct slap on your face to show with proof and evidence that every week we are getting more scope. Now let us move to the case law section. This week's case law is Bold and Confident Careers Private Limited. The name of the company is Bold and Confident, but they have been underconfident in this particular compliance. Yes, I'm talking about section 118, minutes of the meeting. Section 118 subsection 1 along with secretarial standards tell us very simple thing. What is that? Every minutes of the meeting, when it is printed, the numbers of the page should be numbered consecutively. You cannot have a number which is in between, or you cannot have 1 to 10 for one meeting and next meeting again start from page number 1. No, the page number should be consecutive to avoid tampering of the minutes. You don't want somebody to add one sheet in between and do some changes over there. So to avoid that, the rule is like this. And in this particular case, there was a investigation in section 206, inspection investigation, and the company was found napping. The company did not do the simple compliance. Just look at it, numbering the pages, you'll think what is so big, but it is a clear violation when you read section 118 subsection 1 and 118 subsection 10 read with secretarial standards. So here the company was fined 20,000 rupees and nobody wants to pay a fine, and also it is a black mark. Look at this, in this news they're telling about this company. Obviously they will not be happy about it and it is spoiling their name. But what is the important message for all the company secretary students out there? Even if you watch the previous episodes of our company secretary news, we told you very clearly that there was a case where the company did not file form INC 20A, that is certificate of commencement of business, or the company did not file the form relating to registered office within 30 days of incorporation and they were fined. So even for simple provisions, simple sections, the government is becoming very, very strict. So again, this is a classic case with proof and evidence to show you that the government is getting strict, and once government gets strict, the companies get scared and companies start to comply. When companies start to comply, obviously they need professionals like company secretaries, obviously lawyers and chartered accountants. We are all three sister professions, but since this is company secretary news, obviously I'm going to stress about company secretaries. So more the compliance, more the regulatory strictness from the government, the more regulation, the more scope, and the more respect for company secretaries. So that was this week's case, Bold and Confident Company, which has actually paid the penalties for simple non-compliance of consecutive number of the pages of the minutes of the meeting. In this week's business news, we have the news where Paytm Payments Bank. Payments Bank is actually there in your economic commercial law subject. So Payments Bank is one subject which is going to have much more prominence in the future. And in this week's news update, it is that Paytm Payments Bank, all of you know Paytm company, they have a payments bank, and RBI has asked them to stop accepting deposits. Yes, Paytm Payments Bank has faced this because there are some non-compliances they have done while onboarding the customers. They did not do the proper KYC, first reason. Second reason, they also have some little problems with their related party transactions. The disclosures are not proper, so RBI has passed an order against them, and this has directly impacted their share price. The share price was 763 rupees, and within 2 days, February 2nd, the share price went to 467. So they have lost almost 50% of their market capitalization because of this ban by RBI to stop them accepting deposits, that is Paytm Payments Bank. That was this week's company secretary news. Thanks a lot for supporting. Please do share it with your friends and please give a thumbs up because we are putting a lot of effort into this news. It takes a lot to produce a show like this, and we are doing this to encourage students and to get a complete view of what is happening in our profession. In fact, a lot of the things we share in this news can also be written in your exam. And as always, thanks to all the students who are so negative that it is giving us motivation to spread the news with evidence. And I'm still waiting for the evidence and proof from all the people saying that there is no scope for CS. I'm giving you evidence every single week and I expect you also to give. I'll be more than happy and open to listen to you. till next episode, I will see you, and all the best for your preparation for your exam.